Okay, well, let's get into how to run one-on-ones. Today, you guys have been a part of many one-on-ones yourselves and have gone through the process of how the structure briefly goes. And I think that as we continue this business, we're constantly evolving the one-on-ones, thinking how can we make sure that each team member that has a one-on-one or even delivers a one-on-one can improve and get better over time. And so I think what is a good sounding board or a good place to start is when we create a vision meeting. We have that deck there of a list of different fun and engaging things that we want to position and grow the business in. So you can always have that there as a bit of a prompt when speaking to the person that you are going to be delivering the one-on-ones to, if they aren't sure or if they have a goal spare, or even if they do want to help contribute to the growth of that direction, what they could potentially focus on. And what's good is that each of those siloed goals kind of represents different teams. So it's quite easy to narrow down where you think their passion and their skill might lie towards helping achieve that goal. So that would be something that I would have open in another tab and that you can use as a reference point. But also we welcome it being completely outside of that vision as well, because if someone wants to learn more photography or get more involved in, I don't know, sales and development, we want to open that up to them so that they are learning exactly what they want to do whilst being here.
So how relevant does it need to be to the current role, and how relevant does it need to be to the verticals? Because obviously surfing, for example, it might be a goal, but it's not relevant to my work, it's not relevant to the verticals, it's not relevant to my professional development.
I'd say, at base, it would be a professional development goal. So then, surfing would be like, oh, okay, that's probably more on the personal side. How can I support you in that? I'm here to, be there as your accountability buddy and also to guide and help you make sure that you're feeling good in yourself. If surfing's a good personal goal, let's work out something on that on the side and still have and get an insight into their personal lives. And I think that's also what the one-on-ones are for as well, is to really get a gauge on how they're feeling. What's their morning routine? How are they feeling about overall in the business? Is there things that they're really enjoying? Are there things that they need some assistance with, and are there any improvement areas? And you guys will see that there'll be moments where we'll have that reflection time, and sometimes it can take asking multiple questions to kind of uncover what the answers to those are, because sometimes we don't really know on the spot. We might be like, oh, everything's good, and then you kind of think about it and you're like, oh, actually, now that I'm thinking about it, there isn't a process for this, and this makes things really long. And so it's about really understanding the expectations of their role, and then seeing perhaps if there's areas that could be improved. And we can always improve, so hopefully you're getting a lot of two-way feedback. And that could then also help prompt their goals as well. So it might be nice to start with that of like, what is something that you're really enjoying at the moment? What's something that you think that is an area of improvement? And in the business sense as well, is there anything that you think needs to be improved? And getting that will actually help probably posture them towards a certain goal. And then I'll run through as well how to do one-on-ones in a bit of a flow of, once you have a goal, how to break down that structure. So I think first of all, it's just about getting context. Asking them how they're finding things, what they'd like to improve on, and just really asking good questions, and almost coming prepped of questions that you can ask them that you think might help them be able to express themselves. Then once you've had a goal, and let's just say the goal is to learn how to do, forecasting or something like that, which is, that's a big wide goal, but maybe it's like forecasting for all of the clients for the 3rd month. How do we work backwards towards that goal? So there's a framework that I like to use called the Build framework, which I really believe in order to create and learn a skill, is a really good way to do things. So the B in Build is building relationships. We've all been there before, where we've been like, okay, I have a goal to hit, I'm going to spend hours researching and doing my own thing and trying to figure it out, when you probably could have just spoken to someone for 5 minutes and gotten your answer, or at least allowed that conversation with that person, provide the inputs for what to research or to verify their information. Do the next step, which is understand the business, which is where you do your research. So you can go, okay, I've gotten the inputs from them. Now I'm just going to verify that by seeing, is there another way that it can be done better? So if you've gotten some answers from different people, then you'd be like, cool, I've built relationships, I've gotten some really wise advice. Then you can understand business. And what that means is just making sure you're just double checking, doing a little bit of research to then make sure that you have full context over things. So then after that, then it's I, which is implement strategy. So this is when you actually block out the time in your calendar to actually work on it and actually do the work. Then the next step after that is to lead and inspire. And so that means that you get to, be able to teach it somewhere or have it as a bit of a resource that you're able to then deliver that strategy that you've now learnt. So that's why we like to do those quarterly kind of end of sessions to kind of go, yep, we now have this as a resource. And it's also quite empowering to be able to teach a new skill to others, and then you learn new skills doing that in the process. And then finally, D is deliver excellence. And what that means is you're now able to deliver on that service, have that as part of your repertoire.
You're now a professional.
Yeah, you're now being able to live your life knowing and having that skill up your belt. So when I do my week, I'll often do like building relationships, anything that's new business, I'll put in like red in my calendar, and then D for me in deliver excellence is when I'm talking to current clients and being able to have chats and catch-ups with them. That's sort of the difference between the B and the D.
So does it prime you, like, because you see it visually, it primes you like how you want to show up?
It helps me keep my week quite diverse. So if I see that all I'm doing is building relationships, but I've spent no time understanding the business, I'm not even working inside the business and implementing anything, I'm not leading and inspiring, I'm not talking to my current clients, it actually, because of the color coding, flags that to me. And I'm like, oh, maybe I need to switch it up a little bit and lead and inspire more, or yeah, it's like a good catch. So that's a cool way to measure a goal.
If you don't know what the goal entails in terms of steps and you have to do your research, how do you know how long it will take you or how much capacity you have?
Well, that's a good question. You can be adaptable. So I think that you can put some assumptions in there.
Yeah.
If you know it's, say, building a landing page, for example, which we know was big, we can go, okay, how long do we anticipate that you would need to get your steps before you can implement? So maybe 2 sessions with Ori, 1 hour each, then maybe understand the business, so doing some research, maybe we put, an hour each, and maybe it's an hour each fortnight or each week, whatever we believe will take then to go, okay, the steps. We don't know all the steps yet, but we can anticipate it will probably take a few days. How can we sequence that out over the next quarter? Did we overextend it? Did we undercook it? And I think once you start, you'll then be able to play around with your calendar because you've got a quarter to figure it out. So I would start by making assumptions in the calendar, and that's the other thing as well. In the meeting, I highly recommend you guys to do the calendar in the meeting, not afterwards, because life can take over, clients can take over, and it can be super easy to let it slide. We've all been there. And so I think it's really important that at the close of the meeting that you're going, okay, where are we going to schedule in and who are you going to talk to? I'm going to talk to this person. Cool, let's book it in the calendar. Then you're going to do some research after that. Where do you want to do that? Then we need to actually build this to life. Where are you going to allocate time for that? Teach everyone, or build a resource. When are you going to do that? And deliver excellence. Lucky doesn't really, unless there's an end date, or that one doesn't really have an end goal. Yeah, it's just the lead and inspire. Hopefully you've got it pretty much good to go then, and you can tick off 2 in 1.
I think it's a great framework to grow anything, and for the goals, obviously, good to like, okay, I want to grow this. What's the goal that fits into that, and then we can shoot for the moon.
I think it builds, it breaks things down in manageable chunks as well. And it's realistic. It's not like just have this goal and make it happen. It sort of gives you that next step of, how do I know what actions to make? How do I know how long it's going to take me? Those 2 steps really help inform that 3rd piece. And then the last piece is then booking in time to figure out how you're going to deliver, how you now lead and inspire in that area. So it's fun. So say the first thing to do is just to check in, see how they're going. And I do encourage you guys to also get an idea personally how they're going as well, because there are, areas where you can open up a safe space to see, how are they going? Are they exercising regularly? Are they sleeping okay? Not in a weird way, just how's things, how is your life actually? Are things going well? Are there areas that I can support you with, and you never know, and maybe they don't want to open up that space, and that's totally fine as well, but they, you're there to help mentor them and lead them as a human, not only just in professional life, in some aspects, which is really cool. It's so rewarding to think that you can be a part of that. I know that's why, particularly when we had COVID last year, it was like daily we were like, what are you doing for your goals? What are you doing for your exercise? Because it was a time where we knew we just needed to grab each other personally as well and make things even 10, 15, 20% better.
Yeah, and both, like, your personal life will affect your professional life and vice versa. So it's important that they have healthy habits and a healthy life in general.
Definitely. Yeah, but these are really exciting. And then I think the biggest thing is having the calendar in there and then also booking in monthly one-on-ones. But the goal is to have one at the start of the first quarter of the month and then at the end of that month and then once a month thereafter. So it's like twice in the first month, once second month.
4 times.
4 times. Yeah, and then once in the third month at the end. We can up the frequency if you need it to as well. If you want to see them more regularly, you're welcome to. What do you guys think of these goals? Do you think that they're good to have in the business? Do you think that we've got capacity for goals? Do you think that they're important?
I think goals are super important. I think we have
definitely
capacity for it, and I think we've set ourselves up in such a way that we always have allowance for goals, and it ensures that everyone is engaged. They feel like they're growing, and it benefits the business.